Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jersey Nerds podcast, your home for debates and discussions surrounding sports uniforms, hockey jersey design, and more. No, your ears are not deceiving you, but I did not remember that. I had to write it down, and immediately before recording, watch one of our old videos and hear Chris say it and write it down. I am Bpoe, and joining me today is Justin. How you doing, Justin?
I am doing quite swell. It's Friday. Well, maybe not now if you're listening to it, but it's Friday for me currently speaking. So, pretty good.
If it's Friday when you're listening to this, I will be surprised because I imagine we will upload this tomorrow.
If it's
Well,
next
unless
Friday.
it could be another Friday. If it is this particular Friday, I have a stalker and I am concerned.
You're a time traveler.
I am just recording a podcast, personally.
Mm.
So, Justin, what are you wearing? Actually,
I
you know what?
am
I'm gonna go
wearing.
first because
Oh,
you're gonna segue.
fine.
You're gonna
That's
segue into our
fair. That's
topic.
fair.
That was a mistake on my part. Look, I'm new to hosting. Okay, Chris has just abandoned us, so now I have
Let's
to
talk about
take
hockey
over.
jersey. Let's talk
He
about
hasn't actually abandoned us. Let's be clear. Life is happening, and he's kind of taken a Steve step back of sorts. He is alive and well, just busy. I am wearing an Evgeny Malkin Stadium Series jersey from 2019. Partly because it was just, in my closet staring me in the face, right in front of me, front sight, front mind. That's not the phrase, but whatever. But also, Malkin is back and he is on fire. For a day, he
True.
had the most fantasy points per game in our league in the entire NHL. It was like 14 because he had
Mm-hmm.
2 goals and assists plus shots
I
or
think so,
whatever
yeah.
in a
A couple
game.
shots, yeah.
Crazy first game. It's gone down a little bit after an abysmal Pens Kings game, at least for the
Yeah.
Penguins. But yeah. Anyways, Justin, what are you wearing?
Hello. What am I wearing? I am wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers Troy Polamalu Super Bowl, I don't know, Roman stuff, Super Bowl something 3, XLII, whatever that means. But yeah,
Xli.
which is topical because Super Bowl 3, yep, that's the one.
No,
Um,
Xli.
because Flea, yes,
Xli.
yes, yes, that's how it's. Um, but super topical because we are discussing the not the Super Bowl, kind of. Well, not yet. We'll get there. But we are discussing the NFL playoffs. Of course, why would we talk about actual sports when we can talk about what are you wearing? So we will discuss the uniforms that will be worn by the teams, who has the best ones in each matchup, and how that goes down the line. Yeah. Anything else, people, before we get kicking?
Just gonna give you guys a little disclaimer. I mentioned last week we were recording on Zoom. This week we have moved over to Discord, partly just because I think it's a little bit easier to get everybody in and everything. But I think a big part of it is the Zoom's free 40-minute limit, and we also already have a Discord server. So again, just gonna say this for a couple of weeks now. Bear with us through any sort of growing pains or technical difficulties or whatnot. But even this week from last week, I've had some improvements to the whole process. So, going to be getting better little by little here and there. But yeah, that's really it. So, shall we get started?
We shall.
Put the reference images on. Boom, there's the bracket. Just
Boom.
So, what I did for these
Spoilers.
reference images for us is a huge shout out to Gridiron Uniform Database. Is that the website? Gridiron. I don't remember the exact URL, but the Gridiron Uniform Database that's where these bottom sections came from. And then taking this, it shows when they wore it. I just took the most common, home and away, configuration. So you see here the Cardinals have red on red, but also red on white. They wore the red on white way more often. So that's the main reference image up here. I mean, I guess you can make your decision based on the entire set, but the main two are up there. I think one of them, I think it was Cincinnati in particular. They have
like a bajillion, yeah.
Yeah, and like it's mainly just like different sock combos. So like what is it? They wore Yeah, if you don't count regular, or if you don't count the preseason, they wore this black on white 3 times, and each of them have some sort of different
Different
soccer
socks.
pants combo. Because this one is like
That's
black
wild.
socks, black stripes on the white pants. This one's orange stripes, black socks, and this one's orange stripes, orange socks. So like, very very similar, but still different in some way every single time. So yeah, and then you have other teams like the Packers and the Steelers who are just
Yeah, they wear
extremely
what they wear, and that's like
straightforward about what they wear.
right. Makes
So
it easy for us.
I might have to actually, for some of these ones, kind of make this a little bigger as we go.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I guess we'll start off. Do we just want to start off, here down and then here down?
sure,
All
sure.
right.
Start off.
So
I don't even recall if it's the AFC or NFC. I'm a bad
yeah,
Steelers fan.
it looks like this is the
Um,
AFC, because of the A. I'm gonna guess.
oh, duh, wow,
Um,
right there, yeah. So,
yeah,
Bebo,
I'm
since
not
you're not a
particularly
huge,
a huge football guy
since
either, I
you're not
will
a huge
say.
football guy, before we get into this first matchup, are you like aware of the situation in which the Steelers made the playoffs?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know if I'm like, fully immersed in it, but it was kind of like what they weren't supposed to make the playoffs. Somebody choked, and they made was like
So
the
yeah,
Oh no, it was the Chargers and the Raiders were what in overtime, and the Chargers did a stupid thing, and the Raiders won, and then the Chargers got knocked out. Right?
so
Was it
there
the
were like
Chargers?
several weird things.
And
The
that
the Colts
Oh
the
wait,
Colts
no,
were
no,
playing the
no. Yeah,
Jaguars.
that was the game later on where they almost both tied and knocked the Steelers out. I think, right?
Yeah,
But
so
then
the
there was
Colts played the
another game.
Jaguars.
Yeah, that's what it
Colts played
was.
the
Colts and
Jaguars. I
Jaguars.
think it
Yeah,
was
Colts
it was either
choked. That's what
Saturday
it
or
was.
I think it was Saturday. And the Colts blew it. The like bad, and the Jaguars are like 2-14 or something. Like they're the first NFL team ever to fire their coach before the first season of his contract ended. Um, and here they come and they beat the Colts, who just had to win, and they were in the playoffs, no questions asked. They didn't need any help from anyone.
But it was also
So
like
that
that for
gave the
like what 3 or 4 weeks. They just had to win one of their last like three or
something
four
like
games,
that.
and they
Yeah,
were in.
they choked substantially, and then set
I'll
up the
admit
thing that
I
okay,
had a little bit of fun like looking at the Colts subreddit and everything after that happened.
oh yeah,
Not because I have any particular inclination as to like who wins and loses. Just it's interesting to see everybody's reactions, to
right,
something like that happening.
right, and then the Steelers beat the Ravens in overtime, and the only reason
What
they
was
even
overtime?
had a
Oof.
chance in that game was because the Ravens quarterback is injured. So so they beat the Ravens in overtime, and then the whole thing was, as you were saying, if the Raiders and the Chargers, who were the Sunday night game, if they tied, they both would have made the playoffs. So everyone was saying, oh, they should just kneel down from the opening snap and just have 60 minutes of just kneeling. Both tie, both make the playoffs. Obviously, that didn't happen. And not only did they go to overtime, but the Raiders were up 7 or 8, maybe I don't recall. But they were up in like the last 2 minutes, and the Chargers had the ball, and I think made 3 or 4 fourth down conversions on that final drive, and then made a just absolute like there was one spot the ball could go to be a touchdown, and Justin Herbert threw it like perfectly, and then they got to overtime and got all through overtime tied, and then in the last like 30 seconds, the the Raiders had like a third and 7, 3rd and 8 or something, and they ran like 10 yards and got the first down and went from like I think it was a 57-yard field goal to a 47-yard field goal, and they were able to make it and win. And because of all that, Steelers get to play, which is pretty exciting as a Pittsburgh sports fan.
I saw somebody on Twitter, I just some random dude, place like an $100 bet on the Raiders and the Chargers tying, and then something else. Like I think it might have been the Jaguars and Colts, or just something
Mm-hmm.
else
That was a
insane.
common one.
And oh, he was so close to winning like $20,000 off of
Yeah, I
in
was
a
listening
hundred
to the
dollar
Steve
bet.
Dangle. I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast this morning, and there was one of their friends of the show. They were saying had like a $20 bet that would have been like $10,000 payout had they tied.
Man, I'm a little behind on SDPs, so if that's one of the more recent ones, yeah, I haven't heard that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should try like sports betting, like just $1 here and there, just so that
I'm
way, like
also glad.
I'm
Like I
bored, I
would
want to
hate that
watch a game,
additional
I
stress.
want some sort of skin in the game. because I
Fair.
find it somewhat entertaining to watch games that I don't have my team in, but like not as
Hmm.
much because I don't really get nervous. It's like, okay, there's not
Right.
many
I kind of
implications.
hate
Bet a
watching
dollar
penguins
on
in
it,
the
and it's like, all right, now I've got
like.
a real rooting interest.
See, that's where fantasy sports comes in for me. Like I have so much
That's
more
true
drive
too.
to watch a sport if I'm doing fantasy.
That's true. I mean, I
But
guess I I'm gonna sound interesting saying this, but I've been a little bit on top for a lot of our season. Me and you are two of the top teams in the league,
hmm,
so I haven't had a ton of close matchups to really be nervous
fair.
about. More so in my other league than this one, but I'm also like tied for first in that one.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
shout out Dom Lecision for that. Me and you,
True.
we both used his draft board for that,
Don't
and I
don't
did
put
it
our
for both
secret
of our
out there.
leagues. Look, it's not a secret. I'm sure I was gonna,
Not at
reveal it
all.
at like an end of the year podcast or something, anyways.
Oh,
So
for sure,
we're gonna have
for
to do some
sure.
sort of fantasy recap podcast later.
But for the moment, we're talking. Well, we're not talking football. We're talking football uniform. So our first matchup, top left corner there is the Chiefs of Kansas City versus the Steelers that we had just discussed. Uh,
The
but
Kansas
you
City
want
Patrick Mahomes versus the
to Kansas City Patrick
Pittsburgh
Mahomes?
Ben Roethlisberger is
Yeah,
almost not playing anymore.
good. About time.
So I vote. I say that we do this kind of like a snake, where like you make your pick, then I make mine, and then the next one I'll go
Okay,
first, kind of.
sure.
And since I won the pick last time in our NHL jersey draft, I'll let you take the
Fair.
first selection of this one.
Bpoe has won
And
the
also,
coin
I have a little bit of
toss.
phlegm that I need to try and clear while you
There you
do
go.
so.
I love it. I love it. Honestly, this is a good matchup. Like this is maybe one of the better ones. At least in the first round. It'll probably get better as we go. But I love the Steelers jerseys personally. The only thing I don't like about them is that I went to Purdue, which is a Big Ten school, and Iowa, another Big Ten school, just straight up copies the Steelers jerseys with a different number font, but I mean the same jersey design.
Which, like, let's be
So
fair,
I
that's
hate
on
that
Iowa, not the Steelers.
exactly. Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm just tired of seeing Iowa in general. But the Steelers have really nice jerseys. There really isn't much I change about them. I'd probably do a block font instead of the italicized brown line, but I don't mind it as is. Um, I obviously like the colors. I like the Chiefs jerseys as well. I think the Chiefs use I was gonna say the Chiefs use more of a combination, like different combinations of elements in terms of like uniform setups, as you can see kind of on the bottom. But I think the two shown here, their two primary ones, are their two best looks. Um, there was a tweet I read once, gosh, probably like a year ago now, that said like a football uniform needs to have two of the three main elements match to be good, and I kind of really agree with that. So the helmet, the jersey itself, and the pants, like both of the Chiefs uniforms here do that, where you have the two red elements in both. And I think the Steelers with, I guess their away doesn't technically do that because they have a black helmet, a white
If you count the
jersey, and
socks, though, because
fair,
I'd say
yeah.
that the helmet and the socks kind of balance each other out in that aspect.
I think I'm going to be bold here and go against my own team, and I think I can. I think I will say the Chiefs actually have better uniforms. Again, both are really good, but I think the Chiefs have a slight edge for me.
This is an extremely tough one for me because honestly, I think this is going to end up being one of the best matchups of this whole bracket.
Agreed.
Like,
I'm a
obviously,
little upset we started with it in hindsight.
yeah, I mean, we're going to get to the finals, and of course, those are going to be two that manage to last through everything else, which is, of course, going to be a
Right.
great matchup. But like, this is an incredible one to start out with, and an incredibly tough decision. The Steelers, it's classic, black and gold, Pittsburgh, of course. Everybody in the city has that. But the Chiefs also have a very simple and traditional classic type of design. The block font and a lot of bright bold colors. Um, I don't really have too much to add, honestly, other than what you said. I think I was originally gonna go for the Steelers and take the homer pick, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just I think I'm gonna go Kansas City on this one, mainly because I think
Also,
I would make less changes to this set than I would the Steelers, because for the
fair.
Steelers, again, like you said, block font. Like they have that throwback. They okay, apparently had it. It's not down here. They had that throwback, which was literally this with the throwback font, the
With the
block
other font,
font,
yeah.
and it was fantastic. Like I don't know why they don't. This isn't terrible. Like let's be fair, I don't actually
It's
hate
good,
this font.
yeah.
But I think it's showing its age a little bit. So go back to the
Also, like
block font, go
kudos
classic.
kudos to the Steelers for being a black team, but actually wearing like bold pants. Like I think like
Yeah,
a lot of football teams like do a lot of mono black, and it's
which
fine,
according
but
to
I
this
think
the
this is a
Steelers
lot
do, but
more enjoyable.
as an alternate, I'm fine with that. And also
Yeah, I
like
think it's just their color rush that they have because that's the one with like yellow numbers and fully yellow
yeah,
striping.
which like
Yeah.
I can take that for an alternate for sure.
Hmm.
And the whole I don't like black jerseys type of thing. It certainly
Right.
carries over here a little bit, but there's a big difference between really any other sport than hockey, and
I was
you
gonna
know
say the Steelers are coincidentally a lot like the Penguins, where like it's a black jersey and it's a white jersey, but there's so much yellow on the shoulders, so like it is a very strong.
yeah, I mean more in the sense of like there's a difference between hockey and every other sport, and hockey has
Oh,
white ice as the backdrop, and
fair.
football, baseball has green grass, so that's some color, and basketball has the brownish, tannish
Woodish.
court,
Yeah.
with some variation by team on that, depending on what design they have on their court. So the black jerseys, while not the greatest, still are less. It's less of a problem for
Less
sure.
boring.
Um, but yeah, I mean, these are both fantastic jerseys. The Steelers easily could have made it to like the final four, or at the very least the next round if they were against just about anybody else on this
Hmm.
bracket.
And
But
honestly, I don't think they
you
do it,
know,
but this is a matchup that could work as a color on color, which I
yeah,
like. It does have. I don't know that it happens in NFL football that much, but I know in college it happens quite a bit. But I think it's purely functional, and it would be a good looking game to do a color on color here.
yeah, you're not wrong, because it's like literally everything is different. Like if you like go even from the shoes, like I mean, I guess those can kind of vary. Probably you got like yellow shoes. I can't see them in this picture. Never mind. You've got yellow pants. You've got white. You've got black. You've got red. You've got red. You got black.
Yeah, it got all these different elements. So something I'd
Not a
like to.
single element is the same between these two teams, and they're
Right.
one's very bright, one's not so much. So yeah, you're not wrong. This would
So
be a great color on color.
so obviously
And the yellow
the
link.
the yellow complement. So obviously the Chiefs are going to move on for us. Something I'd like to ask, and I think maybe it'd be fun to do it for every matchup. Is just quickly. It doesn't need to have an explanation, but what would be your like ideal matchup of these? Like if you could say these are the jerseys you're wearing against each other. I think for me it would just be the Steelers' normal dark look. I don't want to call it home or road because the NFL is very open about whatever the home team decides. The away team just kind of does the opposite. I would say the Steelers black against the Chiefs white, both of which the ones that we have paired.
See, I think you nailed it with the color on color. I mean,
There you
opinions
go.
could change after it happens, but I'm a big proponent of color on color. The Steelers' black jersey, their white one's not bad, but I think the black one's a lot better. Colors are balanced a little bit better throughout the set. There's a much clearer hierarchy of like black and then yellow and then white, as opposed to the white
Mm-hmm.
one being a little bit more, fighting between, honestly, all three of the colors. Not in actually that terrible of a way, but it's the weaker of the two, versus the
Right.
bright red Chiefs. Yeah, I'm gonna go the color on color for mine on that one.
All right. So now we go from the teams with all the different colors to the blue and red, the blue, red, and white team versus the blue, red, and white team,
The slightly darker blue, red,
albeit
white
with a
team.
little yeah, darker blue and maybe some silver. Well,
So
um,
Buffalo Bills, lots and
Buffalo Bills.
lots of different combinations here, and I think a lot of these
Yeah.
actually also boil down to like socks or something weird like that.
Yeah, like the first
Um,
three are all just white on white with red, blue, and white socks by the looks of it.
yeah, but I mean this white one in particular has a little bit more.
Hmm.
combos, but I think this one, it's like there's one game, but preseason there's one game for each of those combos, whatever the differences are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like this one's like plain blue, this one has striped socks, and this one is plain white. So yeah, it's compared to hockey especially, it's crazy how many or how many different combos these teams have, because you'd never really see that in hockey. Like the Blue Jackets wore
Right.
what the navy pants with the road jerseys like once last year,
Once. Yeah.
and that's it. Like that's the most you usually see outside of maybe a different helmet here or there, like Nashville with the
Right.
navy and yellows at one point, and
True.
I don't know how
Vegas
often they do the
now.
different. Yeah, the Vegas with the chrome. Um,
Beyond that, though, I don't think there's anyone that does any like varied element, so to
yeah,
speak.
I don't even think like Vegas doesn't even do it with like gloves, right? It's just they wear the white
No,
ones on
I don't
white, they
think
wear
so.
the dark ones on dark, and I don't even remember what they wear on the
No, it's not. Yeah.
golds. Um, but yeah, you've
Mhm.
got bright blue, white, and red on this one. Some pretty simplistic striping, but not again, not in a bad way. In a very, this is a classic way. Versus honestly a very similar one here, except you've got the darker
Mhm.
navy blue and a lot thicker stripes, and they're on the shoulders here. Um, these Patriots uniforms are a significant upgrade from what they had before, I think, in the Tom
Yes.
Brady era. Um, because those ones were really aging out, and I guess a good time when transitioning into a new period. Um, but as decent as these are, they might take the edge or come close to it if they were royal. But I can't resist the royal blue, the extra bright pop of color rather than a near black navy. So I'm gonna have to go for the Buffalo Bills on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This one will be another one where I mean, even less heartache than the previous one. I agree that the Patriots are a weird situation for me where it's an improvement from their previous one, like you said, but I also think they're already badly in need of a rebrand. Like it's not horrible by any means. It's just like it's not exciting. It's just kind of there. Like it's very much like okay, and we're playing in these jerseys tonight. Like I wouldn't be super pumped to see them, but the I don't really care for silver helmets in the NFL across the board. Like Patriots have one, the Panthers have one, the Cowboys have one, and I don't. The Cowboys is okay. That's really the only one I would say I like. Um, I don't know. I just don't see a need for it, especially here where silver is basically not a part of the jerseys. I mean, it's in the interior outline of the number, but beyond that, I don't think it has a home anywhere else. I also think that the white jersey has a little bit of a color hierarchy issue with the two red stripes and the one blue stripe. I think it's kind of a weird balance. Like I said, good, not great improvement, but not enough. Whereas the Bills jerseys, I think, are wonderful. Um, they had some really
Yeah,
weird jerseys where they had both navy and a royal in like the earlier 2000s, and then I think that was the look they had previous to this. And this is one where it's I think this is nearly one that would be in a that's wonderful, never change it category for me. So I think these are great. I also like, as a hockey guy, the fact that when the World Juniors had a game outdoors in Buffalo, that the U.S. World Junior team had a hockey jersey based off of this
oh, that's
blue
right. I
Buffalo
forgot about
jersey.
that. Which
So
as a
that's like
hockey jersey,
seeing this,
uh,
right? Seeing this just as a hockey jersey, no, but seeing this gives me that kind of warm fuzzy, like I love the Winter Juniors
let me see
feeling
if I can
inside. So
find that
it's
real
almost
quick.
that sort of nostalgia boost that we see a lot in NHL jerseys these days.
Trying to see if I can
Also,
find
like
a picture of
the
that
Bills
real
are. I
quick.
feel like the Bills are an easy team to like, where the
Yeah, there we
Patriots
go.
are an easy team to hate at this point. So
That's fair. I mean, being very good is going to do that to you. I certainly know as
yeah,
a Pens
oh yeah.
fan. Um,
It's like the Lightning. It's like the Pens
yeah,
previously.
there we go.
But yeah, certainly not good as a hockey jersey, but like a cool connection as a hockey fan of like, oh, I've seen that jersey in a hockey game kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great jersey, but it's quite frankly not nearly the worst. Like
It's
especially
better than
especially if you put some
yeah.
pinstripes and an actual logo on there, you've got a
I was gonna
actually
say
very
it's much
solid.
better than I would have expected had you told me they were doing a Bills jersey. Like
Yeah, which I mean, they basically faithfully took the Bills jersey and
yeah, yeah,
you know
copy paste.
put long sleeves on it, and yeah. Um, what year was this? Did
Oh
you say
god,
was it? Was
maybe
that
maybe
Brady Kachuk?
2018 ish.
Oh, it's Brady Kachuk. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah, that long enough ago. Huh. Okay. So I guess the Bills are unanimously moving on, and I, I don't know if I'll even need to do it, but the
Right,
NFL
for reseeding.
reseeds, just the way that
I was
these are
right. It
going. I don't
was
know if I'm gonna need. Oh wait, no,
2018.
I'm definitely gonna need to because it's second.
Oh, there you
So
go.
I guess I'll mess around with that
Just as
as
needed.
you take your next pick, but we will be reseeding as the NFL playoffs do. Um, but can't really do that until we have our next pick, I guess. So
Yeah.
Bengals Raiders. Um, you're up.
Yikes. Yeah, that's, we talked about how the Chiefs Steelers is probably one of the best matchups that we'd see. This might be one of the worst, at least in my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts on either of these teams are. The Bengals rebrand is another one that's an improvement. I think this was the second year of it. I don't think they did enough, so to speak. I don't know. I like the black jersey. I don't really care for the white jersey where it has like white, like black stripes on the white shoulder. It just doesn't scream Tiger to me. It kind of loses me in that connection there. Like I get it from a jersey standpoint to an extent, but I don't love it. Um, the Raiders are kind of a weird thing where they're boring black and silver and white, kind of like the Kings currently, but they do it really well. And it's weird to me to like this. I also love their. I think it's technically their color rush or their throwback or whatever with the silver numbers, the white jersey. I think that one's really cool. Um, Rarely would I ever pick a black and white team over a colored team, but I think this is a case where I would. So I think I'm gonna say Raiders over Cincinnati, but I'm not terribly happy about it.
I think I'm kind of in a similar spot to you on that one, where like while they don't have much color, they do it very well, and they very much commit to it, and that's kind of just what they've been. Like, have they ever had color in their identity? I don't really
No.
think so, huh? Like even what L.A. to
Vegas.
Oakland or
Or to
whatever,
Oakland.
and
Yeah.
then Las Vegas, and just wherever they've been. It's basically just been this. The Bengals are very close to having something fantastic, I think. And honestly, I think
Mm-hmm.
they have something really great if they just, again, made a few subtle tweaks. And the biggest thing is this should be the primary dark colored jersey. This
Yeah.
is
I mean,
honestly a really nice looking jersey. It cleans up the,
and uniform
tiger
like
striping or whatever.
across
Yeah,
the board.
it cleans up the, I
And
guess it would be the
it's
Bengal striping that they had on their previous set.
right.
And, just basically it's like what the Sabres did, where they had their old
Mm-hmm.
brand and they just cleaned it up and refreshed it and brought it into the year of what 2021. This is when this was unveiled too, I
Right.
believe.
And it's like
So
you have you're named after a tiger. Like why are you black primarily? Like why
yeah,
are you not leaning into orange more?
yeah, like the black is a great alternate, a fine alternate. Um,
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
just wish the white jersey had more prevalent orange on it instead of making black the primary color on there.
Right.
Man, it's such a
Well, Bpoe,
tough
do you have
pick.
oh yeah, that's right. You have picked it. I was gonna jump to your ideal matchup and
This is a very. Oh, we forgot to do
assuming
that
you're
for the
coming.
last one too. We'll have to double back to the Patriots and
Oh.
Bills. Um, it's such a tough pick between these two because while they pull off what they do really well, the splash of color in here is still nice. And then if we are going to also talk about alternates,
That's fair.
this one is fantastic.
That jersey, that uniform is
Um,
definitely better than anything the Raiders have.
yeah, and again, it's not like the Raiders have anything particularly terrible. But then again, also
No.
looking at it, there is nothing on this jersey. It is numbers, and that's it.
Yeah,
Which
I mean it's
it's
like
weird that it
Alabama in
works
the
in
NCAA.
football. It's weird that it works in football. It would never really work in hockey. I mean, we've got
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay's alternate, and we know how that is. It basically looks like that, or
I was gonna say it's
Ottawa's,
very similar to the Raiders black jersey.
or yeah, Ottawa's. If you count the lack of contrast.
True.
As much as these are half decent and like I don't hate them as much as I do in hockey for reasons mentioned previously with black jerseys and everything. I'm going to have to go for the Bengals mainly for the splash of color. And, again, they improved a lot on what they had before. I think if it was, their previous set, I'd taken the Raiders every time. But, the little splashes of color and the, subtle improvements, and then this especially. Yeah, I'm going to have to take the Bengals on this one personally.
So the biggest thing to me about the Bengals is, and it's not very visible in either of these pictures, but on their white pants, the decision they made in the striping is like unforgivable. Like they have, it's like it's very
Which
similar
white
to the black
pants?
pants.
They have two white pants.
Oh, that's fair. The ones that have like it has the same orange side panel, and then the striping is like white in between them instead of black. So like it doesn't even make
Here,
sense. Like as a tiger, like
I'm gonna
it's
just pull
wild.
my Google search over here, and as I scroll, let me know if you see it somewhere here.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying
Show me the
to
pants.
find it. Is it this one or
Show
no?
me. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. So
Huh.
like again, they lose. Like it's like your team is literally named after a tiger. Like they can't even execute like tiger stripe. Like you literally have striping baked into your identity, and like also their helmet phenomenal,
Yeah,
arguably one of the best in the NFL.
and I don't even
But
know
it's
if that
just like
changed from their last brand, but even if it
I
did,
don't
I'm
think
sure
so.
they
I
just
think they
cleaned it
cleaned it
up.
up a little
Yeah.
bit, but
Which again,
um,
that's what this whole rebrand was. So.
it's like the Bengals frustrate me because I feel like they were handed an identity. Like here it is, just wear it. And then they were like, well, but what if we did this? And it's like, ah,
I mean, I think
like
it's
it's
fair in some cases to say this is a football uniform. Let's take some creative liberties. Um,
mm-hmm.
it is weird that they have two white pants, one with black stripes and one with
Right.
orange
Why would you?
stripes. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it does kind of make sense in the end. Like you see all of these pants here. If I zoom in, like
Right.
none of them have like a stripe. It's just the a contrasting
The
color with
pattern,
the
so to speak.
pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does make sense having that on the white.
Honestly, I'm happy to be convinced to let the Bengals move on because quite frankly, I don't think either of these teams is going past the next round anyway.
I think that's very fair. That is a very fair observation. I'm I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
and while
Is
we're
there an
at it, I
easier
think
way to
my ideal
duplicate
matchup
this?
for these two teams would be the Bengals in that picture you had of Joe Burrow earlier with the orange jersey and the black pants, and then the Raiders in their color rush throwback, whatever, with the silver numbers. That's
Mm,
that's my ideal. I love that. I love that jersey that they have with the silver number.
I'm
Phenomenal.
gonna.
And I kind of
Oops,
want
I forgot I
the
can't do.
Kings
I
to try
forgot I
something
can't do
similar.
mission control because of the screen share. I'm so used to doing all these things on my computer, and I can't necessarily do them right now
Right.
because of
The
this. I'm gonna
muscle
see if I
memory
can
kicks in.
find that. I'm gonna double back, I think, to the Bills and the Patriots real quick while I try and find a
Go for it.
game
Go
photo
for
of
it.
that Raiders jersey that you're talking about. That white.
If you
Well,
if you look up
actually, what week did they wear
if you
that?
look up
Because
oh gosh, I
week
don't know.
4. If I just look up week 4, I learned that.
Or like the team they were playing.
Yeah, it just says it right down here. So
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
okay,
Yeah,
there's a
there it
photo.
is.
I learned that well, nobody else can see it yet because
Ooh, that's
it
a
has to
fun
be on the
matchup,
right
Raiders
side of my
Chargers.
screen. Justin can see my entire screen, which includes my OBS
True.
capture. You guys can only see this right portion of my screen. Yeah, okay. I mean, again, it's very, it's pretty similar to me in terms of the rest of their uniforms, but I guess it's a nice little break. Yeah, you know what? I'll
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this one and the orange Bengals. And I'll go
There you go.
a step further. Orange with what? Black pants, I think,
It's
or
got to
white
be
pants.
black pants. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go black pants for sure. Um, and then we got to double back to the Bills and Patriots that we missed.
Bills Patriots.
Bills are definitely gonna get the edge on getting the blue jersey.
Yeah.
Can't really do a color on color for this one, but the Bills have a better blue, so they're gonna get the edge. They're gonna
You
get.
could you could do
They'll
that
just get
if you
this,
really want to do the Bills red. Yeah.
I think I'll pass on that one. The Bills will get
Good
their
choice.
regular blue, white helmet, white pants. I like the blue socks as well. The most used here, um, for a reason. And the Patriots for me, I guess
They
I don't
have to
really have a
wear the other
choice here, do
one.
I?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
against their only white setup.
Yeah, mine would be the same. I mean, I much prefer the Patriots home to their or no, the Patriots blue to their white. Again, I'm not going to use the terms home and road in football, but same goes for the Bills. And I think getting that nice blue color and kind of like we've talked about with the Sabres in the past, sometimes colors are just so nice. You gotta promote them and to the front. I think that's a case where you would have.
I think a nice runner-up would be as well the Bills with white jersey, blue pants. Um,
Yeah, that's
Probably
fair.
white socks versus the
The
New
Patriots
England
only blue.
blue. Yeah, their blue setup. So I think that would be a nice little runner-up to the matchup that we picked. Um, so in the Western Conference, because this is on the left side, right?
I love it. Love it.
In the AFC, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Titans, Bengals, Chiefs, and Bills in our final four of the AFC.
Look good, play good,
Um,
by the sounds of it.
Apparently, it's funny how that one worked out. Uh, whose pick is it next? I believe it's mine for the Bucks and the Eagles, right?
Go for
So we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Brady.
Where'd the boys go? There they are. Um,
Gosh,
Recently, what?
seeing them under the 49ers make the Buccaneers just look like a dirty 49. Like just
I can
in
kind of see
terms of
that, yeah.
just like a
Um,
shade darker.
which I'll get to that a bit more. But I think if we
I was
had
gonna
another
say we might
green
run
team,
into that in the
actually, no, I guess
future.
we do have another green team involved. If we take a look at honestly, like compare these two, I think it's kind of the same
Yeah.
situation. I was gonna get
Hopefully we
into
don't
that.
run into that. I don't know that either of those would be super pretty.
I was gonna say I'm not particularly sure we will because the Bucks, they recently went through a rebrand. What this is their second year in these.
I
Fixing
think so.
the what alarm clock numbers and that
Just
misguided rebrand,
abomination
which
that was.
overhated I think, but
Yeah.
not great either. Rebrand that their older one. So these kind of harken back to the older days, and they have red with kind of an orange in the middle of the numbers, and a white jersey with pewter pants, and the red jersey with pewter pants as
Pewter
well.
pants.
Pewter pants.
Don't pewter your pants.
um,
See
and it
pewter
looks like
pants.
that's really all they have. They have the pewter pants, they got the white pants, and then just kind of mixing
Kind of
those up
thing.
between the
Yeah.
three different jerseys they have, including a full pewter set. Um, and then
Pewter.
the Eagles, I mean, I feel like they're close to having something pretty good. But man, that I'm just not a fan of that green. It's not forest. It's not quite like forest green like the Minnesota Wild. It's not quite, victory green of Dallas Stars or like a,
It's almost like a
just a
weird teal, but like also
yeah.
not that. Like it's not a lot of things. Like I'm not sure what it is, but it's not a lot of things.
It's like it's not teal, it's not green, it's not blue, it's not forest green, it's not bright.
Not good.
I don't want to say what's the term for I guess royal green so to speak. Kelly green. That's what I'm thinking of.
Kelly.
Which they
That's what
have
they used to have,
yeah, which they have their old set and I guess
and
no
should just
alternates
be
right
there
now.
jerseys.
Um,
Yeah,
if they brighten up that green, I think that they're fine as they are. Great helmet though, for sure. Let's
great
say
helmet.
that. I think they. I mean, again, I think my biggest gripe is the green, and not the worst set in the world, but not particularly the best. So I'm gonna give it to the Buccaneers with a little bit of an extra splash of color, and from what I can think of, off the top of my head, a pretty unique color scheme within the league. I don't think anybody has
Hmm.
anything really like this. I don't. There's not really a ton of gray throughout the league. Is well,
I feel like
not this
pretty
kind of
unique in
dark
sports
gray,
too,
huh?
even
Yeah.
because it's probably
Okay,
in the
there's a bit of
brown.
gray.
Like
Let me
it's
correct that. But
weird.
there's not really much of this like dark gray, is there? Looking through
Mm-hmm.
the teams that we have
No, not
selected
at
here,
all.
certainly not really. So,
Yeah, I love these Bucks jerseys. I think I'm gonna come right out and say that I totally agree. And Bucks over Eagles have they're probably bottom.
all right.
I don't want to say bottom five necessarily, but definitely bottom 10
Like
jersey
of the
or
league
uniform
or of
even in the
the
NFL. Oh yeah,
hmm,
of the league.
interesting.
I just don't.
I'm
I
not going
mean,
to dispute that because I don't know
there's not
the
much to them
league
in
off the
terms of
top of my head enough.
yeah, fair. There's not much to them in terms of design, and then like we were saying, the color just kind of sucks. It's weird, and it's like you said, it's close to a lot of good colors, but it's not those colors, so it's just odd. Um, I like the Bucks look a lot. I don't know that the Bucks need orange at this point. I think it's kind of unnecessary. Um, and it's kind of like the Lightning's use of black, where it's like if you don't tell me it's there, I don't know that I would have ever noticed.
I almost
But I
like it
think
though
they're
because
good.
it almost is like not like shading, but it almost just adds like a little.
That's fair.
I
Like
don't know
almost
how
like
to
a bevel or something.
like a yeah, or like a little gradient of sort. No, that's not really it
Yeah,
because it goes dark, light, dark.
fade.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really know how to describe that. It almost looks like a glow. Let me put it that way. At least on the white jersey, it
I
almost
also
gives me like a
love.
glow. You know what I mean?
I love the
Like
yeah, and I love the white look that's pictured here with
zoom
the
in a little
pewter
bit.
pants and pewter helmet. I think it's great. I think having a little pewter like I don't know, it's not a is it? I don't know if you can call it a cuff since it's on like the upper arm, but the edge of the jersey, so to speak, on the arm. I love that pewter detail and how it ties into the helmet and pants. I think that's my favorite Bucks look. So for like ideal matchup here, I think it's Bucks in that one that you can see in the Brady photo, and then regrettably the Eagles in their midnight green.
Yeah, is that a cuff? I'm not really sure.
I don't know what the term is. Edge
I was
detail
about to
type.
say we'll do a red on green, and then I'm like, nope, never mind. No, we will not.
Yeah,
The
well,
NFL has learned that lesson
yeah,
already. Um,
yeah, that would be brutal.
oof.
Do pewter on black.
I'm gonna give. I'm gonna say my ideal is Tampa Bay's red versus uh, Philadelphia's white because it's kind of similar to the Bills and the Patriots situation of just gonna take the better color of the two and give that one the
Fair.
priority, and then just fill in the gaps, for the other
Whatever.
team.
I
Um,
also hate the Eagles for having black pants with a green helmet and a white jersey. I just don't know. I like the.
yeah,
I
it's a
don't think
little weird.
every football jersey has to have two matching elements, but I think it generally helps. And like this is a case where it's just and like with the as you can see on the back of the jersey, which in football the back is basically the front of the jersey, but with a green number two and a green helmet, like there's so minimal black. Like okay, black pants. And it's odd. I don't know. I actually do think they do have a green pants option, don't
I was about to
they?
say, yeah, looking at the bottom there, they do have a green pants option.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if I can find a photo of it as we speak. When did they wear
What
that?
week is
Week
that?
eight.
Week eight.
Yeah, let's week eight. I figured this trick out like right whenever I was finished with all of
Yeah.
the reference photos, but I'm
Oh,
glad
against
it's
the
at least
Bills.
coming to use now.
Oh,
Oh,
not
this is
against the
so
Lions.
much better. Yeah, like
That's much better.
again, it's still kind of hampered by the
Honestly,
shade of green that they have in particular, but
seeing that probably switches my ideal
I mean, yeah, that
to
my ideal is definitely this one with the
yeah
red
Bucks
Tampa Bay
red. Yeah.
Buccaneers, for sure. Still would love a brighter green, but I guess if there's one thing we can give this color is that it's unique to the team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough of a
Yay.
saving grace to keep it around,
Congrats.
but yeah,
You
it's
look
like
like garbage in an original way. Like good
yeah.
job.
I was trying to think of an NHL team for that. The Capitals, I guess. You look like garbage in a unique way
Yeah.
because their jerseys are certainly interesting. The Reebok Edge holdovers, and unlike the Penguins and the Senators, they at least have a unique, crappy Reebok Edge template.
Fair. Fair.
All right, the Dallas Cowboys and the I almost said Philadelphia again. The San Francisco
Philadelphia
49ers.
76ers. Nope, that's not it. Ooh, this is another really good one. I feel like football in general,
Before you go here,
the
I'm just going to clarify. If you look at the bottom here, they wore the blue jersey for 4 games, and this particular combo for uh, 2. So they wear their white jersey way more often than anything else.
yeah,
If you want to use that to make your decision,
that's fair. Yeah, the Cowboys are historically a white jersey team, which I hate because I think their navy one is a lot better. I think the colors. I mean, uh, we've talked before about the Cowboys' color issues. The fact that they are both royal and navy, and that's ridiculous.
and as you bring it
Um,
up, I'm going to also bring up that I picked, considering that these were 2 games each, I picked this particular combination to put in the
because it looks better.
spotlight because of the difference in the grays on their pants.
Yeah, they're so weird from a color perspective, and I
Yeah,
hate it. So, I mean, I grew up in Dallas, so I've seen a lot of these jerseys, and it's a yikes. I love the navy. The navy one's great. I mean, I don't mind either of them. They're just weird together. Like,
Yeah, like it's
But moving
almost
on
like
to
I guess Carolina, the Hurricanes, where they work on
yeah,
their own, but
that's
they
fair.
kind of don't make sense together.
Yeah,
It's like the
and
navy
then
one should be one team, the white one should be another team,
right,
but somehow
and they're
they're the
both
same team.
fine. They're both fine.
So
It's
many
just weird.
man.
And then the 49ers, they're a team that I don't know that I'd change. I think their throwbacks are probably even better. But I love this color scheme. We talked about how the Bucks are basically a dirty version of this, but I'm gonna say that this color scheme feels fairly unique. Maybe it's just because there's not really a team that does red and gold in the NHL, and that's what we're used to. But I really like their looks. Um, I think they're great. I think, I think probably the Cowboys navy jersey is better than either of, or navy uniform, if you want to do the full look. Is probably better than either of the or 49ers, but I think as a set, and that's what I'm going to make my vote on. I think as a set, the 49ers have the edge.
See, I'm gonna agree with your pick. I'm just gonna say that outright of the 49ers. And this is their throwback, right? No, wait, it is?
Yeah,
I can't really tell.
yeah, yeah. It has more stripes, and I think it has a
Oh,
different
yeah,
number
you're
font.
right. Oh, wait, no, I don't know.
It's
I think
similar.
this one might be the same one.
It might
I tried
be
to look it up. I saw some
because they have a
images
white
of it.
throwback too. Yeah.
Because it has like a black drop shadow on it, doesn't it?
Yes, you're right.
I thought I saw a
That is
photo of it here, but it wasn't the greatest photo. Okay, that's a pretty
there. It
good
is.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good photo. Okay. Yeah, that other one is it's a little bit of a blurry photo, but that's okay. Um yeah, I mean the 49ers, another bright splash of color, a very, classic and simplistic design. Color balancing on the white ones maybe a little weird, but
Mm-hmm. It happens
you
with the
know,
ball a lot.
yeah, it really does. And then those throwbacks, they I think complement the set really well. Whereas the
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys again, they just have like a weird identity crisis where see, I don't agree with I would say that if any of the jerseys are better than the 49ers, it's the white one. I wouldn't agree with it.
There you go.
But it's such a weird thing where they have like a I mean, the helmet stays the same. I don't know if that would change if the
And
NFL's
that's what
rules
that's
were
what
different.
makes me hate the white jerseys. The fact that the helmet has the same navy as the navy jersey, and then it
That's
just
true.
doesn't
I forgot about the
doesn't jive
navy
with the
aspect of
royal.
it. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
it's wild.
I think like if you isolate the white jersey and pants, like that blue, the royal blue and the sort of tealish, like really extra cool gray.
Silvery blue pants. Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be a cool color combo on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's just so weird when you have it next to regular silver and then, the whole navy jersey. It's really weird that
It's
their
so odd.
helmet's navy when the team uses the white jerseys more than
Right, the white
anything.
more exactly. The
The more that I
Cowboys are
think
just like
about it, like
completely mind-boggling.
and
It's
just like there's
wild.
like little to no similarity between this. Like the number font looks the same, but you've got solid color on the white, and you've got the
Right.
double outline on
I
the
was
navy one,
I
and
was
then
looking at it earlier when we were talking about the differences, and I was gonna say they have two number fonts, and I was like, oh no, it is the same. It's just
I think
treated
it's the same. If it's,
like
I mean, it's
yeah,
tough to tell from here, but if it's different, it's still very similar. The
yeah.
striping on the sleeves isn't. I don't really see a connection there, really. The
No,
pants striping is
it's
about the
weird.
one consistent element, and then again the helmet because it has to be. Um,
And also like it is just unacceptable to have two different silver pants. Like that's so dumb.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. Like, just go with the. I mean, even if it.
Which means also because the silver pants on the navy jersey match the helmet, that means again the silvery pants on the white jersey don't match the color of the helmet itself. Forget the blues,
Yeah.
but the silvers don't match either. And it's just like what's going on?
There's like a lot of good elements here that just are not put together properly. Like, especially the
Honestly,
white jersey. You've
none of the
got
elements are
two
bad. They're all
silvers
good.
and two blues on that white jersey. You've got a navy and a royal. And then you've got the
It's
really
ridiculous.
cool pants silver and the helmet silver that matches the.
Like a
The
true silver, yeah.
like, like, if you fix
It's
those
like it's like
issues,
there were
it's.
two different people design concepts and they were both good and they were just like, yes. And then they
Yeah,
just went with
really.
it. Like,
It's like the Dallas. I'm sorry I keep relating everything back to hockey, but it's like the Dallas Stars. Their kind of rebrand that you'd see like the Texas flag and the red, white, and blue, and then you've got the victory green and the black and white, like they
it's
went with.
honestly, yeah,
It's like if they
yeah,
went with a
or
green home jersey and then a red, white, and blue road jersey, basically.
right, or
I mean,
even
a
even
little bit
more
more
applicable might
similar,
be
but
like
you
it might
know.
be like if the Stars promoted their current alternate to home,
Yeah, or I was even gonna say
and
like
they wore that
North
like limer
Stars
green.
esque, like
Yeah,
bright green and yellow versus like their '90s
but
like
they're like
dark
they wear
green
their
and
winter
gold.
classic victory green helmet with their alternate because why
Oh my
not?
god. Ugh. Like
So
I
go
mean, again,
49ers.
they're close, but just not quite there. And I've just noticed we're gonna have to do some reseeding as well.
Uh-oh, our first upset.
Yeah, our first upset. I don't know if
So
they're going to end.
ideal
Actually,
matchup.
no, I think they are going to end up there at this point because we got 4 and 5 as our next one.
The
So,
ideal matchup for me, I think, is there's just too many weird things. Like it looks good at first glance, but there's just too many finer detail weirdness in the. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Color on color, red versus navy. That's my ideal. I was gonna say Cowboys navy, 49ers white. I'm gonna go color on color.
I'm going to go with the red jersey here as well. I'm going to go for the white jersey still for the Cowboys because despite the weird color things,
It looks good,
I
regrettably.
like the I like the royal blue a lot better than I like the navy blue. And the navy blue on the helmet, there's not enough of it to truly detract from the much larger amounts of royal. Again, please fix it, but also like in this scenario,
So
it's
weird.
not enough to detract for me. And again, the silver helmet, not enough to necessarily detract for me the rest of the uniform, which I mean, on again, helmet down, like it's a very nice uniform.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
neck down, because then
The headless
you get
Cowboys.
rid of the
Let's go.
inconsistency at that point. You've got one silver, you've got one blue, and then you got white.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's what I'm going for. Um, the L.A. Rams, not a concept by Chris Ramirez. The
Not
actual L.A. Rams.
LA
Um,
Rams concept by the LA Rams.
versus the Arizona, not Coyotes, the Arizona Cardinals.
I like
Um,
card Yodis.
the Arizona has a stadium.
Oof. Oof.
And I believe I'm first pick on this one, correct?
Take it.
So the Cardinals have a really. I don't even know what I'm necessarily looking at here. It gives me
Bad.
Reebok Edge vibes, where they've got the color right. I like the red jersey a lot more than the white because the piping is a lot less
The
noticeable in the
piping is
weird patterns.
odd.
Um, I like the white helmet, red jersey, white pants combo. I think that fits together really well. Um, the white jersey is really strange. Oh, that like the bottom of the pants here is really reminding me of some sort of NHL jersey. It might have been those like weird
Yeah,
sort of pseudo socks or
like that.
whatever that
Like
the Flames
it
had, I
reminds me of
think.
the Avalanche and Oilers like
Mm,
apron piping type jerseys. It just looks like that, like flipped vertically. But
it's given me like I'm trying to find a good. I'll try and find a good photo of it while you're talking. Um,
oh, the Sens alternate the blend.
no, it was like the socks, but actually that's not a terrible comparison
Oh,
either.
fair.
The weird
Um,
socks that like kind of went around the like curved.
oh, fair.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but anyways, you've got again, I think a good foundation here, especially on that red jersey with the white red combo. White helmet, red jersey, white pants, and then red socks. Um, not Boston. Uh, you've got a good
yeah.
foundation there. The white jersey, again, I think could work with this kind of shoulder and side design if you just kind of cleaned it up and you know 2022'd it. I'll say,
Mhm.
Sabres Bengals it, uh, and then
Saberbank.
who is the other team that I'm looking for? Oh,
Well,
the
Ram.
LA Rams. Not the greatest set in the world, especially they're all bones that also have some white in it for some reason. Um, but especially looking at these two in particular, like I don't notice the white as much on the bone set and um, the blue set. Again, I think seeing it on the field has done wonders for this because it looked way
Yeah.
worse in its unveiling. But seeing it on the field, it actually works really well. I honestly can't say I hate the bone on its own. It's
They
just
did.
the
They
the
did unveil
combo
a
of
new a
white.
new white one this year
Yeah, which is also
that they didn't wear
fantastic.
enough, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, what did they what? There's week 9 and week 10 with the yellow pants and the or weeks 1 and 9 and then week 10 with
Yeah,
yellow pants and then blue pants. I actually saw there was some sort of article
I love the yellow.
there was some sort of article that I saw, just like a fan thing, I think, of ranking the LA Rams uniforms. Yeah, here we go, ranking their color combinations, and here's the article here.
Yeah,
Rams Wire. I'll admit I've never heard of that, but then again, I'm not a football guy, so uh, you know. Uh, Let me see. They had it was their number one, the white
white,
and the
yellow.
yellow, which
I
is
agree.
a great look.
Which breaks my rule of the matching
Which
element, but works.
again, yeah, really. The royal yellow also works really well. And this one especially, I don't even know if it has gradient numbers, but if it does, you don't really notice them. But even
Yeah,
something like this, like it works,
phenomenal.
honestly. Like you've got two very bright colors gradienting against that. It's
And
not
the
like any
the
of them blend in.
gradient numbers are not
Um,
as upsetting as I originally thought.
yeah, I think it would be worse if you had a yellow to white or like a blue to white or no blue to we'll go blue to
Yeah.
yellow gradient on a white jersey or something like that, which
Oh
I don't
boy.
think they do. um,
No, it's just solid.
yeah, you've got bright color gradients on darker colored jerseys, which works. So again, could fix some things, but overall, I'm gonna go for this one. And also, I think I just like blue better than red, anyways. So that'll kind of get
Hmm.
the edge. And also, yellow is my favorite color, I think. So that certainly helps as well.
Yeah, I think this is another one that's carried by the colors. There's definitely plenty I would change about both uniforms. I think honestly, these Rams one have grown on me. Like I don't hate. Like I actually really like these uniforms even as is. I think the Rams are awesome. They remind me of the Sabres in terms of color wise. That their blue and their yellow are so nice, and probably honestly fairly similar to the current Sabres color palette. The Cardinals remind me a lot of um, kind of kind of like the Caps in the NHL, where the jersey itself isn't that bad, but it's been around for so long as a mediocre jersey that like they're arguably the team in the NFL that needs a rebrand the most. Um, I don't know, nothing that I love about them. Like really nothing. I would kind of blow it up entirely. I don't really care for the plain white helmet with the just the logo on there. I mean, the colors are fine. I have nothing wrong with their red and white. I think they just use it poorly, and we talked about that with the patterning of it. But yeah, this one is Rams by a mile. I don't Cardinals are probably my 32 out of 32 team in the NFL in terms of jerseys. So there's not much I'd do with it.
I wonder
Um,
who's gonna win this one for you then.
Yeah, right. If we were to do ideal, I would have probably the Rams do an inter squad game and just play their blue jersey against their white jersey. But in absence of being able to do that and actually having to include the other team, I would probably say that Rams look that you see there with the blue and the white pants, or maybe that's even the bone pants, but I would put the white pants. And then versus, I would say probably just standard white, or no, yeah, I would say, well, no, I would do color on color actually, and do the standard red uniform for the what are they called, the Cardinals. And so both teams would be in white pants.
Yeah, I'm gonna double up on that one. Give me the red Cardinals uniform, which, like I said, I don't mind at all. Versus, I'll go blue and yellow pants on the Rams.
Okay,
Also
I'll take
gonna
that.
bring up again. So these Cardinals pants, and I guess it's not exactly what I was thinking. This like stripe here, but it definitely has some similarities to these
Oh, I forgot about
Senators
that.
socks, where it just kind of comes down and it just kind of goes down. Um,
I remember making teams in NHL, whatever it would have been at that time, and like designing the jerseys and the pants and socks and everything, and being really happy with it, and like seeing this nice double striped sock, and then playing with the team and realizing that I chose this sock, and as soon as I'd be skating up the ice, I'd have to quit the game because I didn't want to look at that atrocity for for 20 minutes while I was playing.
like, let's also say that the what's it called? The kind of curvy striping on the socks can work because, as I'm trying to find a good photo of it here, the Connecticut Whale of the PHF do just that right
Oh
now.
yeah,
Not even their
that's
last year one; they have different ones this year. I'm trying to find a photo of, but also here's their older set that also
creepy.
pulls it off decently, where they have kind of the waves
Mm-hmm.
in the socks. And also, as I was looking up the
Just
Senators one, here's a real throwback here. I wasn't around for these days for sure, but the origin of aesthetics, the NHL tournament of logos.
oh
Um,
my gosh,
Posting some news
wow,
on a blog spot here. Um,
that's wild.
blog spot, the origin of both aesthetics and us technically, if you include our
Yeah,
the Ryan Hazlitt HJC days.
yeah,
Um,
there you go. Look at that throwback. Love it. Love happening on history. So
uh,
that's round one.
yeah,
And is
and
that
as I
is that gonna
continue,
that's not gonna trigger reseeding, is it?
I don't believe so because what did we got the Rams here.
Which
Yep,
gives us a really
1 and 6
satisfying round
and
two.
2 and 4. So
Really
we've got
satisfying round two
yeah,
where none of the matchups have the same primary color.
so yeah, we've
I
got
think.
the Packers and the Bengals, the Packers and the 49ers, and the Bucks and the Rams moving on in the NFC.
The Eastern
So
Conference.
so the overall Titans, Bengals, Chiefs, Bills, Packers, 49ers, Bucks, Rams all survive to round two, and the Titans and Packers do so by way of a bye, which they got through NFL,
Being good at
not the
football.
uniforms.
As if that
Um,
matters.
yeah, and
Yeah, I was
turn my
thinking about how I
photo
said
up.
I didn't care who run the Bengals Raiders because I was confident they'd lose in round two, and now I'm seeing they're matched up against the Titans, and I'm much less confident about that occurring. But I guess I'll start, and I'll obviously we've already talked about the Bengals, so I'll kind of reserve comment there for the time being. But the Titans, and I'll let you clean up a little bit. But the Titans
Yeah, as I
recently
say,
rebranded,
I'm currently kind of
and
cleaning up some of these the reference images of the teams that did not
yeah,
make it past. I'm hoping I didn't
round
delete one of the
one.
wrong ones on accident,
So like the Titans
which I
rebranded
didn't. It's not
recently,
deleting. I can just
and
open it back up again. But one, two,
obviously everyone has a different opinion on everything. But I would say they have a case for a situation where they rebranded and their look got worse, which is not exciting. Um, they have the
that's
weird
blue
like
for some reason.
sword shoulder yoke thing, which I don't think works terribly well. And they have two different grays, and they have the kind of Tennessee State shape inspired numbers, which I don't think is terribly successful as well. This is one that I don't. There's a lot of elements
So, real
in the.
quick,
Go ahead.
conveniently, happened to have a photo of this in my downloads because there was a photo. This photo's tweeted out on our platforms today.
There
This
you
photo of
go.
Emma
Oh
Vlasic with
yeah,
it's the road socks. I forgot about that, dude. This I
that's
don't know if one of the
cool.
home ones do it, but yeah, where you've got the kind of symmetrical curvy pattern to it.
Right. Just don't
So
taper down into nothing. Like
yeah, exactly. Like it goes down and kind of comes back up and just repeats itself. Which I love these socks. I really liked this white jersey. I'm
there's some good
disappointed to see
uniforms
it
for
go.
PHF.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what they have now, of course, isn't bad by any stretch, but I don't know. I really like this white one, but probably helps that I saw it in person, being in Lake Placid
Fair.
there.
Fair.
So I'll go back to my tidying up and I actually opening up Buffalo because I closed it on accident somehow. Can I drag it in? Oh, perfect. Look at that. I can drag it right in. Oh, didn't know I could do that because I don't use this
So
app
yeah,
very often. All
Tennessee
right,
is
let's
one of
change the
those.
pick on.
Tennessee is one of those teams that I don't know that
But you're
there's a
the
lot
only
going
10 I
on.
see.
I don't They're at zero. Like I don't know that there is an element that I like. Like there's a lot of things, and I don't know that I like any. I mean, I like the helmet. The helmet with the sword stripe makes sense. Swords on the shoulders don't make any sense. Like a sword pant stripe, I think is super cool. Sword shoulder yoke just is weird. They got red Nike logos on them. I hate these so much. Whereas the Bengals I don't like, but I don't hate them as much. And the Bengals are gonna go to the conference championship or whatever you want to say, call it in terms of my opinion, which I hate, but that's the situation we find ourselves in.
I think it would be the conference championship. And yeah, like, I think
That's
the Titans, I think they're, if I remember correctly, their older ones, I think were a little bit better. I don't remember exactly. The font is close to working, but not quite. I don't think it's a little wide. I think it would work better if it was a little bit
mm-hmm.
thinner. Um, I really like the idea of the sword stripe and the. I don't mind the sword kind of shoulder yoke as well. Um, but especially looking at that white jersey, it's just kind of gray in the middle of no gray. So it just doesn't really fit in. You've got, I see a little light blue stripe on the underarm, which where else is there light blue? The number outline, I think, and yeah, the
Yeah.
home one or the dark one, at least the featured one there is a lot better overall. And like actually looking at the bottom there, that powder blue one looks like it has some potential. Again, don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's at least a nice
I don't
splash of
watch
color.
I don't watch the Titans much, but seeing these now, at least in the still shots, these look like the type of jersey you would see like in a movie, like about a like fictional college or something, or like I don't know. They just don't feel there's like that uncanny valley where they are football jerseys, but they don't quite feel like football jerseys.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of completely agree with you there, where there is kind of this weird, yeah, uncanny valley with it. And that's a good way to put it. Meanwhile, Cincinnati, kind of gone over that where it could be better, but I think especially the orange jersey in particular really brings it up. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Cincinnati as well. Hopefully this round goes a little bit quicker overall since we've kind of done our business on all of these,
Yeah, in terms of ideal
except for
look
Green Bay
here, in
now.
terms of ideal look, I'd probably say Tennessee in their powder blue, and then I don't think that would work with a color on color, so I'd probably put Cincinnati in their white just for contrast and just general look sake across the two. But I would not be happy about if the Bengals end up playing Titans. I'm not really happy about any matchup that is possible here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my ideal. I'm just gonna say this without thinking too hard about it and whether it would work or not. It's the orange and black pants with the powder and navy pants. Again, I'm not gonna think too hard
It'd be
about whether it would
bold.
actually work or not. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Um, I'm not
In
gonna. I
theory, it could
don't.
be cool.
Yeah, if it works, I think it would work. It would look really nice, but you know, whatever. This is made up anyways. Fuck you.
Enjoy your bye, Tennessee.
This is all
Let's
made up.
let's never see each other again. You're done. You're done.
What is it? This the points. What is the whose line is it anyways thing?
The points are
Or
made up, and the rules are made up, and the points are there.
that's it. The rules are made up and the points don't matter. So that's what we've got going on here. I don't care. Like orange on powder
Yeah,
blue. Let's try it.
why not?
Fuck it.
It's only one game, right?
Bengals. One
Bengals
fictional
to
game.
the AFC
Anybody got
Championship,
a Madden 21 or 22, whatever's the
right?
most recent one out?
And
R.I.P.
now we
R.I.P.
have
John
now we
Madden.
have the matchup. Now we have the matchup that is the real AFC Championship. I would say,
Yeah,
because I don't imagine the Bengals beating out either of these teams. But the Chiefs and the Bills. So I think I went first on the last one. So take it away.
we've got again another matchup of two very traditional type of jerseys. Some sleeve striping, some block numbers. Pretty classic colors. This is a really tough one. I was actually gonna give it to the Bills at first because of that. I think I like blue better than red. But you know what? I don't know if it's just because there's a jillion team or NHL teams that use red, white, and blue. I don't know if it's quite like that in the NFL just based on this. I mean, not really. We had them and the Pats, and Pats were Navy, but I think this is just a more unique color scheme overall, and it just pops out a lot more to me. The bright yellow on the bright red, really stands out to me. So I'm gonna give it to the Chiefs, but it's you know overtime, and they won on a punt, I
Last
guess.
second field goal when
Yeah, they
everyone
won,
wanted
or
them to
last
tie.
second won on a punt. They won on a last second field goal. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
5 seconds left in
it's
the
funny,
game, and they punt it from 70 yards away, and it's
and
a
the other guys
miracle.
muff it.
Like as
Yeah,
close as it can get. Um,
um,
just
it's
about
wild.
nearly a tie.
I had the same thought. I was gonna say, oh, the Bills have that blue 100%, but seeing them, I guess it's just the brightness of the red is really fun
Yeah,
for
these
the
ones are
Chiefs.
just like the
So
blue is
I
a
think the
nice
Chiefs.
like rich royal, but this is
Yeah,
just so bright in a good
yeah.
vibrant way.
And then I think my ideal would be I really like how it's weird. As much as we're talking about the red, I like the red when it frames the uniform, so to speak. So I really like the Chiefs white, where you have the red helmet, white or red pants, where you have that kind of bookended white by the red. So I would say probably the Chiefs white look with the red pants that you see here, and then the Bills blue that we were talking about earlier would be my ideal.
I think that's fair. I really like the pop of color the red jersey has, but also like it is, I guess, a little bit. I almost want to say more technically correct or more technically better, having the kind of yellow on white syndrome on the number outlines kind
Yeah,
of fading into the base of the jersey rather than the numbers, which I don't think it's a bad thing in either of these.
I feel
Yellow
wrong
on
for
white
liking it,
syndrome
but I
doesn't.
do.
I don't think yellow on white syndrome is a bad thing if it doesn't affect like legibility or anything like that,
Fair.
or visibility, so to speak. Where like Penguins, I would show you this jersey, but there's no white. But on their normal ones, where especially the white jerseys have the black with the yellow outline, the yellow outline blends
Right.
in, but and it's there. It adds a little bit of color, but you can very clearly see the number. It's debatably a problem on
Right.
the black jersey sometimes, especially the number 4. I've noticed like Chris Kunitz, especially a couple years ago.
It's
That's
a
a bit
little
of
too
a
thick, yeah.
yeah, a little bit contentious, but yeah. Either way, like it's not. It's only a bad thing in a certain situation. So yeah, I'm giving this one to the
Alrighty.
Chiefs, and yeah,
The
looks like we.
Chiefs are
I'm just
moving
gonna.
on.
Should I preemptively just kind of move them over into the Super Bowl, or should we go through the
Like, go for it.
formalities?
I don't. I think we can. You know what? Let's
That's
just do this
fair.
matchup quick and
Yeah,
dirty.
we'll
It's
just
the
lightning
Chiefs.
round it. Like, come on.
Ideal matchup here. You.
I'm
I
gonna
guess
say as well. My ideal matchup for this one. You know what?
you
I'll go
can't
with
do.
you. White for the Chiefs and blue for the Bills.
Yeah.
For that one,
Ideal
but
matchup
red on blue is
for the
pretty
next one
close.
though. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I'll go ideal on this one. Orange on white. It's gonna be some
See,
contrast.
I think it's
It's tough.
black on white. I think it's black on white for me because I think the orange because the red's so bright. I think the orange is like going to be that weird like you're wearing two different shades of gray kind of thing on your outfit.
That's
Like
true.
I think it's too close but not the same thing. That would be a weird dissonance.
I'm just gonna say I like a lot of color. The rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Who can,
Screw it.
we don't actually have to see it, so
Yeah, and if we do see it, maybe I'll change my mind. But for now,
yeah,
the rules
fair.
are made up. The points don't matter. Orange on white here.
Matchups are made up. Actual optics don't matter. All right, so another nice and well, clearly we like the classic jerseys when football. I feel like we have another classic matchup here
I'm
between
trying to think. I mean, the Bengals don't really have a classic in a way. I
yeah,
mean, like it
but
is,
I feel
but
like the
it's more
Bengals won
modern.
kind of like process of
Yeah,
elimination. All of
yeah. But
their
again, like
matchups.
if they do make a
Um,
couple of changes, they've got some top tier uniforms. I think.
yeah,
Um, I'm just trying to think of NFL teams aside from kind of the Titans that
like
we've talked about, and the
like the
Cardinals, and
Seahawks have a
yeah,
fairly
that's not
modern look
bad.
that I
Yeah,
like. I think it gets a lot of it has a bad rap. I feel like a lot of people don't like it, but I personally like it.
yeah.
Um,
That's a good example.
so
Whose pick
Green
even
Bay
is it? I don't
has
remember anymore.
I don't know. I'll take it. Green Bay has
All right,
gorgeous
fair
uniforms.
enough.
I love the green and yellow color combination. I'm a little bit sad that
Brutally
the
underused in
NHL doesn't
sports.
have it.
Yeah,
Like
at least not within the
that being
primaries.
said, I'm glad the Wild don't. Like, there's a lot of people clamoring for the Wild to go reverse retro color palette full time. I don't want that. Like, I love the Wild. Like, I like both green teams as they are. Like, I'm not saying I want the Stars or the Wild to go to green and yellow, but if there were, a hypothetical other team to adopt it, great. The striping is really nice. Everything flows well together. It's even the white looks nice, even with the how much green there is and how little yellow within the yellow equipment. I think it looks good. And then obviously we've talked about the 49ers before. I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about these, and I'm going to stew on my pick for a little bit because I'm not entirely decided as of yet.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we talked about these ones. I don't really have much to add to Green Bay, classic uniforms. Green and yellow is a fantastic color scheme and brutally underused because you've got Packers, Oakland A's, NBA,
Edmonton
I don't think.
Elks.
Yeah, Edmonton Elks in the CFL. NBA, I don't think anybody
You
currently,
could
but
argue the Celtics when they use, but it's like a gold,
I'm
not
not gonna
a
argue. No, I'm not gonna argue
yeah.
that one. The Seattle Sonics, whenever they
Seattle
were still
Sonics,
around,
yeah,
but it's been how many years at that point, or at this point, since that's
right.
come and gone. So yeah, brutally underused. Again, NHL with Minnesota reverse retro stuff like that. And again, I'll agree with you. They don't need to do that. They have a good enough color scheme as is. I'm going to go for the Packers on this one, not because the 49ers are necessarily bad, but I think the color scheme, like both the great
I
look
was
of
gonna
it
say, I
and the
think
uniqueness within not only the NFL but North American professional sports, really
exactly.
brings their stock up, I think.
Yeah, I think you talked me into that as well. I think in terms of giving them props for using this color palette that isn't used super often, I think they deserve a win for that. So
And
I
also
will
like they have
cast
that
my ballot for
they have the like color
the
rush,
Packers
which is
as well.
very Steelers-esque, just green and gold instead of black and gold.
Yeah, I don't love it. It's very very Edmonton Elks. I think it's
Yeah, that
almost
too.
nearly exactly the Edmonton Elks jersey.
I think
Funny.
you might be right now that I think about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who did it first in particular here.
I
Again,
mean,
not
this is a
much of it
throwback for the Packers, so technically they did, but it's a throwback
true.
that they started doing this year. So it's like the Elks made it their primary before the Packers brought it back, but the Packers
Who
obviously
came
have the
first, the Packer or the
original.
Elk?
Yeah,
um, yeah, I mean, I think we've got our winner here for sure.
yeah.
Um,
Ideal matchup. Ugh. Can you go back to the
can't do
49ers
red and
for
green again.
exactly.
I'll
I,
just
I
butt
like the
in.
49ers white. I think 49ers white versus Packers green.
Yeah, I'm again gonna kind of go. Let's give the edge to the better color jersey, and then
Hmm.
fill in the gaps. So, green,
I also think that
Green Bay, and white 49ers.
the 49ers colors are like I don't want to say softer per se, but less harsh, like milder maybe is a better
Yeah, I
word.
think that's
Where I
kind
think
of
having that,
Buffalo and Kansas City as well.
yeah,
I think that's kind of the difference
where
we
I think
had.
like I think having that milder palette allows their white to work better. Because we talked about the color balance kind of thing, where there is like no gold in their white, and there's very little yellow in the Packers white as well. But I think this one works better because the gold is less jarring against the white backdrop in comparison to the Packers yellow.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And the Packers are kind of similar to the Steelers in the yellow pants, white jersey, but like
Fair.
Steelers have the black helmet, so it's I guess a little bit different. It's just so interesting how I talk about Nashville syndrome in the NHL, and so many of these NFL teams fall under that. Where I don't know if it's a bad thing in this case, but or I guess not really. I guess it's not really Nashville syndrome, huh? Because Nashville syndrome is not having enough of the color on the jersey, really.
Yeah.
Where this way,
Yeah.
it's usually just kind of reverse the color balance of what
Hmm.
the dark is. All right, Bucks and Rams. We're
Yeah.
winding down
So
here.
here and there's another modern one for you. I'd say the Rams have a fairly modern looking set. Um,
Don't mind me just tidying up in this because we're
Taking
respectful
out
in
the
this house.
trash.
We're respectful in this
Um,
house.
Gosh, this one's tough for me too. I love the Rams
One.
blue. I love their color scheme. I mean, we've talked about them both. I like both color schemes a lot. I like both jerseys. Um, I'm gonna say because it's kind of a toss-up for me. I'm gonna say because of the existence of the bone jersey, I'm gonna let that be a negative for the Rams, and I'm gonna let that push the Bucks over the top. But I think if you take each team's two best jerseys, like it's hard to make that distinction.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Where I think, yeah, the best sets from each of these teams, especially that white with honestly either the yellow or the blue pants, is just a fantastic look for the Rams. Yeah, you know what? It's just the fact that they only wore that 3 times in this season.
Right.
It's
You
tough
gotta
to
wear your
give them
best jersey.
too much
You have
positive
to.
credit for it. I mean, if they start doing it, then I think that stock will rise.
Hmm.
But as of now, their most popular light colored one is that bone blue, which again isn't bad in its own right. It almost gives me like Arizona Coyotes like sand or like the vintage white kind of replacement. But I guess the problem is
Hmm.
that you're mixing it with regular white a little too much for my liking. Um, so I'm gonna be honest. I don't necessarily think either of these are making out of the next round. But I'll go Bucks as well. Not that it was the easiest decision, but not that it was the hardest either.
I wouldn't. I
And I
wouldn't
think
mind
it's
this
also
jersey.
part like I don't feel the need to argue with you on this one. It's kind of moot.
Yeah, I think my ideal look. I really, like I said earlier, I love the Buccaneers white, and I love the blue color that the Rams have. So I think that Rams blue versus the Buccaneers white would be ideal for me here.
I think I'll go with the Rams. I think I'll go white jersey, blue pants versus Buccaneers
Ooh,
red.
I like
I
it.
almost
I
want
like
to. Nah, we'll go red jersey, and then pewter gear all the way around here, not the
it.
white pants. Um,
I like
so that leaves us with three because we skipped ahead earlier. Leaves us with the
it. True.
hello. Why do I only have Green Bay now? What the hell happened there?
There's a winner. Yay! Touchdown.
Potential spoilers, but I think the final is
It's
going
like
to be a
it's like
little
ball don't lie.
contentious
Picture don't
here.
lie.
I have they're
That's
back.
funny.
What just
Whoa.
happened? You guys
What?
could not see my sidebar, but every other team
That's
disappeared, and then
funny.
I tried to drag them back, and they just reappeared.
There they came.
All right, so we've got our
All right.
final three here. So Tampa Bay and Green Bay, two bays, Battle of the Bay.
Two bays. Bay. I think I
We
think
really need to?
Tampa is my no. We don't need to describe the jerseys. I think
No,
Tampa
I
is my
mean
choice
like
of Bay here.
really,
Yeah.
really.
Oh. Were you asking? Oh, you were asking if we even needed to bother. I see what.
Yeah, I'm going. I mean,
I love.
again, I think a lot of it is the color scheme rather than. I mean, again, not that the jersey design itself is bad, but I think again the color scheme of Green Bay for me really elevates it. Not only a beautiful color scheme, but a unique one, and that's gonna get you a long way. I think in any branding, you know, sort
For
of.
the sake of also in terms of like if we're splitting hairs because both of these are great. I think that's something that we'll both agree with. They're both really good uniforms head to toe. But for the sake of having a more interesting Super Bowl too, if this was the path, I would, even though I think I like the Bucks jerseys more on their own, I would prefer to see the red and yellow Chiefs play the green and yellow Packers than the red and pewter Buccaneers, just to have two teams with different primary colors. Because I think we saw that, I think not too long ago, it was maybe 2 years ago, it was 49ers Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And it was just not fun to watch because both teams were, red and varying shades of
Didn't
gold.
we literally
Um,
last year have Bucks and Chiefs?
was it last
Didn't
year? I thought it was a couple years ago because I thought it was still in college. Oh,
Bucks
Bucks
and
being.
Chiefs?
I was thinking 49ers. I
Yeah,
think we
no,
did. Yeah.
49ers and Chiefs was the year before. 49ers and Chiefs was
Yeah.
2020. I remember watching that game in live studio audience's dorm room freshman year,
There you go.
or at
So
least
yeah,
the very end of the game. I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I watched the game ending and
for the
the
sake of something fresh,
ceremony.
then too, I would prefer to have the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just think the Packers are good. I'm honestly, I think the Bucks for me would have lost to quite a couple of other teams on this thing.
There you
I
go.
mean, I think they're fine jerseys, but I don't think they're anything spectacular.
Honestly, the Bucks might
Personally,
be my favorite uniform set in
hmm.
all of the playoffs. Which is
See,
weird
I
because before
definitely
this
can't.
I didn't see them as a team that I thought would go all the way. I didn't realize I thought so highly of them. But
Hmm.
and then in terms of ideal matchup for this NFC Championship, again, I love for some reason I love the Bucks white jersey, so I would pair that with the Packers green.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be the same thing for me. Where the Packers, I think green is stronger than their white to a larger degree than the Bucks red is better than the white. So,
Fair.
um, we'll take the Bucks white, which I mean I like the red one better, but again I think that's just my love for splashes of color.
Right. Fair. Fair.
And then
So
Packers green is my ideal here, because yeah, this was literally last year. I don't remember which the matchup was,
yeah,
but
which is not a great matchup.
yeah,
I mean, I don't remember what it was, but I feel like the Bucks red against Chiefs white would be okay because the equipment would be so different. But even then, I hate it when teams with similar colors go against each other in any sport.
I think
Like,
it's always nice to have kind of a common link, which I think you do here with. I mean,
yeah,
you do here with the yellow in both teams,
I
especially
also
having the
like
yellow
that.
so prominent in one but not in the
I was
other.
gonna say I like that it's used heavily in the Packers. Like if the Chiefs had yellow pants too, like I think it would be kind of miserable. But you deleted the team.
Dang it.
Surprise!
I think if I have one selected, but I
No
like even
AFC.
if I'm right clicking on a different
Um,
one, it
so this
deletes.
one,
So
this one I'd like to do the other way. First, let's envision what is our ideal Super
okay,
between the
I think my ideal ignoring color blindness is color on color.
color and color.
Fuck the colorblind. Please do not take this out of
I
context.
think I think
Disclaimer:
this
I
I
have
think this
nothing
goes
against the
back.
colorblind. That does remind me random of a TikTok that I saw the other day. Somebody who found a shirt at Goodwill that was one of those colorblind tests, but it says "fuck the colorblind."
Oh my gosh,
So like,
that's wild.
if you're gonna be offended by it, you can't even see it.
You can't see it. That's hilarious.
uh,
In this one, I think for me it's the Chiefs white again. I like the red, like bookending it so to speak. And I think it does a better job than the yellow of the Packers at accomplishing that. I think I prefer the Chiefs white to their red, and I definitely prefer the Packers green to their white. So I think this one's an easy choice for me: Packers in green and Chiefs in white.
yeah,
That
I
being
think
said, now we have to pick an overall win.
I'll take my pick first. I've said
Go
it a
for
lot
it.
before. The Green Bay Packers have, a very unique color scheme. It's a very good looking color scheme. It's not used much in sports. That being said, I'm going to go Kansas City,
Hey,
because I just thought myself into this. I like the overall uniform set here, the strength of the white and the red, better than the strength of both of these
fair.
ones. Or the white one here is fine, but it's
It's
not
just there.
spectacular. And I think it's because of the lack of that green. The color balance is a little bit off to me. Whereas the green one is
Hmm.
fantastic because you have really nicely balanced colors. But this one, both of these uniforms are extremely strong in their own right. And the colors are balanced, very similarly throughout the two. It's basically just a case of, both of these jerseys being strong and this one kind of having a little bit of a weak
Right.
link. So,
We're through the whole bracket. There's not going to be any stinkers left. I think for me,
yeah.
I'm going to agree with you, and we can crown the Chiefs our Super Bowl Livy champion in terms of
Uh,
jerseys.
there's no
Um,
Super Bowl spot, so
it's no
we'll
spot,
just
no champion, just expanded to cover
That's what I was
the
about to
whole
do.
thing.
Oh, I need to do the layers. Oh, let's unhide this. Oh, this is
But
brutal looking in this tiny screen.
I think for some of it, it's the it's weird because we were talking about how the number outline almost isn't distinguishable because of that yellow on white syndrome, but I think that is really what pushes this over the top in terms of looking better. I think that subtle kind of fade you get is a lot more visually appealing than where the Packers we have that single color number, no outline that just kind of goes from one to the other. And in a football jersey where the number does take up so much um, of the uniform, it's really important to make sure that that area which is going to draw your attention, utilizes your colors appropriately. So I think definitely the Chiefs have a stronger look overall. Oh boy,
I'm gonna
we're
be honest.
we're
I didn't
making a
entirely hear
graphic
what you
live.
said. If that's what you want to call it.
I love it. This will be our this will be our.
Yay.
We should totally make this our featured image or our thumbnail. Just put like Comic Sans, like
Let's see.
Super Bowl uniform bracket,
Oh,
whatever.
okay. Here we go. We're doing this now.
I love it.
Let's
This is
grab a.
the inaugural Jersey Nerds design stream. Soup Champ, Kansas City Chiefs. Honestly, that Chiefs logo doesn't look bad vertically stretched.
Just gotta
Bowl
get the
Champ.
Comic Sans in there now. Excuse my. I don't have a favorite. How dare I?
That's
Excuse my giant library of fonts.
Yeah, good.
Comic Sans.
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl Cham.
I love it.
There we
Love
go.
it.
Super Bowl Cham.
I just now caught that bowl was also spelled wrong. That took me way too long. I'm kind of embarrassed at that one.
At a certain
It's
point,
given
it was just like
Canada flight
off of my
vibes a little
canvas,
bit
and
with
I,
the red
I
and
couldn't
white.
tell if I was like how I was spelling it wrong.
I
So I
love
was gonna
it.
we're gonna roll with it. See, okay,
But
I would make this our thumbnail. I think we should use this to promote the podcast, but we can't spoil it too far ahead of time as a thumbnail. Like
fair.
we gotta at least wait like a day or two maybe or something with this. But
That's fair. It'll
I
be a
think what we'll do
follow-up
for
meme.
our the thumbnail is some of the screenshots that I was taking with a
Oh
live
yes,
studio
true.
audience still in the room. Nope, this isn't quite it.
Spooky time. So that one's
Let's
fine.
turn off the reference images for a second until I find the right one. Oh, there we go. I was looking at the wrong screen.
There it is.
The wrong screenshot.
There it is.
Let's bring that over here and let you guys
Those
see
beauties.
that again.
Look at those beauties. I love it.
I think I've mentioned the
just
way that I
very-
kind of record this by screen capturing and a bit of a inaccurate sort of bounds, and having the wrong layout up results in losing our noses.
Some fun times. I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna be honest.
folks,
I'm kind of going nuts here. I've slept for like an hour and a half this past
Oh.
night. I think it's starting to catch up to me.
Oh no. Well, folks,
I've
poor
noticed
people
my
fall
attention
asleep on us.
drifting. It's not even that I'm getting tired. I'm
Love
just.
it.
I think it's the brain exhaustion.
There you go. The brain
I don't know
fog.
if you
Well,
guys have noticed, listeners, watchers, people. Oh
Humans.
boy, yeah, it's hitting. All right. And on that note,
congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs.
the
for
Super
winning
Bowl
their Super
Cham.
Bowl. They are the Chams.
Whether or not this will be the real life result, stay tuned to find out.
True.
And the way that we did this, it is entirely possible. This is how it goes.
Yes.
So
That would be how amazing would it be if this is the actual bracket? This is time to all
Does
those
the
$20
NFL
bets
do,
that yield $10,000. This is us. Now's the time to lock it in. Make it happen.
does the NFL do the like bracket challenge type of thing like the NHL?
I'm sure.
We
I'm
should
sure
submit
someone
one.
that like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks like
we should. We'll probably make one in the Discord. Honestly,
That's a good point. When do the playoffs
get a
start?
group going.
Next weekend?
This weekend, Saturday.
Oh, this
tomorrow.
weekend. Okay. I thought there was
So, get 'em
normally
in
a week for the
fast.
Pro Bowl in between.
No, the Pro Bowl is in between the conference championships and the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, big football fan here. I actually don't have a
Yeah,
football
right.
jersey, otherwise I would have worn it instead of this
Yes, I'm
Penguins one.
surprised you said Pro Bowl and not All Star Game.
I know that much. It's I said it before to other people. Like my knowledge of basketball, baseball, and football is that I know what is going on the field. I don't usually or always necessarily understand why it is going on that way.
Fair enough.
So hockey,
Players
I'm
are
a little
moving
better.
in a direction.
Yeah, it's like I understand what the goal is, and I understand where you're going with it. I don't necessarily understand why you're doing exactly what you're doing.
How do you get there?
I don't understand the strategies behind any of it. So, who knows? I've taken to basketball in 2019 and 2021, started
2020,
baseball.
the
So
year of the football.
2022 or 2023 might be the year of the foot.
Year of football. I love it. That's a good episode title. The year of the
The episode of the foot.
But anyways,
I don't know if I want to title it Souper Boul Cham or episode of the foot.
That's fair. Thanks for listening to
I guess,
the year of the foot.
I guess you'll have to find out. Well, you'll already know, listeners.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you'd already know because you clicked on the podcast.
Yeah.
But
you're home for debates and discussions surrounding sports, uniforms, hockey, jersey design, and more that I totally just memorized.
Yes, quite.
Go ahead and toss us a follow on our Twitter or Instagram at @the_JerseyNerds. Discord, and I'm sure you've noticed in the hour and a half you've been watching this, if you're on the video feed, I have a little animation in the corner now linking to all of our stuff. So go ahead and just take a look at that. As you can see, it's popping up right now. We have a Twitch right now, or a Twitch channel now. Haven't streamed anything yet.
Just right now.
I'm hoping to do that soon. So if you pop over and follow us, some streams will be coming soon. You'll get alerted to that. I think that's how Twitch works. I'll admit I haven't used Twitch much in the before. And then that last one that just popped up is the link tree to just about everything. All of our socials are YouTube, Spotify, Redbubble Shop. The Discord. Join the Discord. Just about anything. So
hang out, have a good time. If you like jerseys, you'll like us. Theory.
The place for jerseys and nerds to jersey and nerd and discussion on
nerd out about jerseys.
Uniform and hockey jersey surrounding sports, hockey jersey
sports,
design
nerds,
and more.
Nerds ropes.
Your hockey home jersey for design debates and more discussion surrounding uniform sports. That actually was coherent for a couple seconds, and there's some
Your hockey home for jersey
for design debates was like actually coherent right there.
I like it.
Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling and relax
Thanks for coming.
For once in this day.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening or watching. Thanks for partaking in the jerseys and the nerds and the discussion on
Thanks
sports,
for recording
uniforms, and hockey jerseys.
You're
welcome. Thanks for wearing a Steelers jersey and talking in
my one and only
pod formcast.
Pod form. Well,
unless you got anything else.
If you're gonna cast, be safe potting and casting, folks, and we'll see you.
All right.
Next time on Jersey
Great
Nerds.
final words.
Bing.
And Jersey Nerds out. The intro music is playing. So.
The Jersey Nerds podcast is a production of Jersey Nerds Media. The Jersey Nerds are Bpoe, Hunter, Justin, Chris, and Noah. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @the_JerseyNerds and hit that link in our bio to find our blog, our Discord channel, our online store, and more. And be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to us.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. From the Jersey Nerds to you, thanks for just listening to a podcast about you.